Welcome to Fandora's Box. This is the podcast where we talk about our favorite fandoms in terms of our thoughts, theories, and opinions. We like to do a little production analysis as well as story dissection. My name is Tyler Gardner, and I'm joined, as always, by my friend and co-host, Christian Almonte.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this Fandora's Box episode.
And today we are going to be breaking into
You hurt your hand there?
No, I'm good. And today we are going to be breaking into a new segment, which we call the RPGs. But not just the letter, because we are, in fact, the most gangster.
Yo, I forgot we called it that, and I'm very happy with that title.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
In this segment, we will be discussing, of course, RPGs, but I'm sure we'll eventually break off and talk about different video games. But for this particular episode, Christian will be leading us on a journey of a game that I've experienced, I think, exactly in two instances, which are pictures that Christian showed me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let him introduce the name of the game, but I have actually zero knowledge of this game, zero experience playing it, so this is going to be very, very fun for me and anybody else who might not know of this game. Now, Christian, whenever you are fucking ready.
Yeah. I like this concept because right now we're working with... Tyler's actually the perfect control group for this because he is literally knows fucking nothing about the world of Kenshi.
Exactly zero.
Literally zero.
Oh, what did you say the game was? What game?
The game is called Kenshi.
Okay.
Kenshi.
And who developed? Who made this game?
That is by Lo-Fi Games.
Lo-Fi.
Yeah.
Nice studio.
With Chris. I forget his last name. I literally always forget his last name. It's not because I don't know who he is. I know all about him. I just always fucking forget his last name.
His last name's gonna be like Smith.
It's so very easy and I just forget it. But yeah, no, it was headed by a man named Chris. I forget his last name, but he kind of took it by storm. It's his world that we live in essentially, and
now
he has a crew behind his back. He's got a whole squad now.
Has this studio made other games, or is this their first?
It might be their front runner, their flagship. Let's see, Lo-Fi. Doing a quick research session. You would think I would have this down, but I think it's just
great googly moogly.
Yeah, Kenshi is
one of them so far.
It's their debut, I think.
What platforms can we find this game on, Christian?
This is a PC game. I do apologize for the console squad, but it is currently PC only.
Yes, we are excluding everybody except PC Master Race.
Yeah, and it's actually very interesting that you say that because Kenshi actually came out in December 6th of 2018.
Oh, it's been around for a little bit.
Yeah, and at that time, I did not have a functioning PC. I was working off of Mac for my college years.
Mac's a good guy. Mac's a good guy.
Quality gentleman. So I did not have the luxury of playing Kenshi, so I ended up buying it back when I was first getting Steam, and it was funny because I downloaded it, realized that I couldn't play it on a Mac, and then I got my dad's old PC, which could not run Kenshi for the love of God.
It could run Paint.
And so it was one of those things where I just had it in my purchase library. It looked really good on the trailers, and I'm like, I don't want to refund this game. I want to play this game. So I'm like,
wait, so you've had this game since it came out?
I've had this game for a hot minute, and I'd never played it for a long time till I think after college, so about 2020, I would guess. Right?
Well, I graduated 2019. Did you graduate when I
graduated 2020.
2020? Okay.
Yeah, so. I was after you. Regardless, going off point. But eventually, I ended up getting a gaming laptop. I got my Acer Predator, which was the beautiful laptop that I'm actually using right now for this presentation. Not sponsored.
Completely unsponsored.
Not sponsored. Acer Predator, go and get it. So I downloaded for that, and I fell in love with it.
Not sponsored, but go get it.
Yeah, it was not the laptop, but the game was everything everything that I hoped it would be and more. Literally with my dad's old PC, I could literally only get to the past character creation, and then the game would just crash.
Jesus Christ!
That's how much I got to experience of the game. So I got into it, and I have now, as of this recording date, 900, or sorry, not 900. I almost said 900. No. See, now it's going to make my number seem infinitesimal, but
9.
I have 497
That's
hours.
Solid.
Just about 5.
So 24.
By the end of today, I'll have 500 hours in Kenshi.
Okay, 500 divided by 24. What is that really quick?
That's about
3,006. My math's wrong.
I did the math, and I thought I would have that number ready, but considering how horribly
I was ready for that question, but just not right now. You've played for almost 21 days.
Yeah.
That's solid hours.
Straight up with no 21 hours straight with no. That means no breaks, no nothing.
So you've just been
Straight
doing
up.
this for the last 21 days. Nothing else.
Well, not. Well, this has been over.
You look great. I'm telling you.
I know you haven't needed to.
Your
breathe,
complexion's
eat.
fine.
It's crazy. This is my number one most played game on Steam, and let me just for reference, my second place one is 211 hours. So my second place has less than half of what I played for Kenshi.
Now I wonder if we compare it to console games. Do you think it?
It might not hold up to console games because I played Fallout for a hot minute.
Yeah, that was 23 days.
Yeah, no, literally every character in Fallout 4 was probably 4.5 days minimum, and I had like 6 characters, so.
That's 24.
Yeah. Then back in my favorite console game of all time, for those that are curious, because we haven't talked about video games much on the show.
At all.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny that we're delving into this new world. This
Maybe we mentioned it once or twice. But...
Still, this is like the debut album for our video game experience. So
triple, quadruple platinum.
Triple, quadruple platinum. But yeah, no. My favorite console game was Fallout New Vegas. Amazing game. I know your brother played it a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, quite a bit. I would watch him play it because he played that PC.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't play that console.
I didn't know he was really into it. Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, I've been playing this game for a fucking hot minute, and these past 500 hours.
The best hours
Tyler has not known anything about it.
Actually, zero. I think the first thing I got was months ago. You sent me a random picture of crabmen or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, the fish people.
Oh, fish people.
The fucking fish people.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I had a.
I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I had a kind of a hit Reddit post where my character is running away from crab people to the sounds of Through the Fire and the Flames. It's just them screaming at the top of their lungs. So.
If this video exists, we will link it.
Yeah, for sure. And essentially, in our friend group, we all have had our games that we've kind of gone off on our own and been in that world for a while. Adam's was definitely Destiny.
I don't know what the fuck, because he's all PC now, so I don't even know what he does.
Yeah, but for a long time, that was the game that, like, it didn't matter if no one else liked it. It didn't matter if nobody else played it.
Because we would play with him. I would say for a week or so every night. We'd get on for a few hours. He'd still be playing. Before we get on, after we get off. And then like, okay, well we're gonna try some other games out. You sure? But we could play Destiny. It's like, well, Adam. there are other games.
Please, Adam.
Please, Adam.
So yeah, and for other people, recently, I guess recently it'd be like how people are with Harry Potter right now. So on and so forth. So it was really that was my niche game. That was the game that I wanted to play, and I just stuck with it for this longest time. And I'm happy to share this world with fucking Tyler. So Tyler.
Don't ask me what I know.
I was gonna say, based on the limited amount of knowledge of just fish people, what the fuck do you think Kenshi's about?
It's definitely.
Honestly, I feel like you're at an even more disadvantage because you have the weirdest parts of Kenshi in memory right now.
One weird part exclusively. Yeah, so it's definitely about fish people. I think that's a huge part of the game. I know your character. Your character starts as a fisherman. How am I doing?
And he grows up with his fish people.
Yeah, and then his parents are killed by fish. And that's where we start.
It's actually gonna be crazy before you realize that boats are a lost technology in this time.
Yes. So your father died 3,000 years ago.
All right. So. Yeah, let's just dive into it. For those who stuck with the introduction, now you get to...
Those who are still listening.
Yeah, no. That was a long intro. It's okay, though. We do this because we love it. So let me just tell you guys real quick. Shout out to Hero in His Head on YouTube. He is kind of the lore master of Kenshi on YouTube. And because of how Kenshi is formatted, one of the whole points of Kenshi is that everything's a mystery. So it's like
Dark Souls. Like you have to kind of piece the lore together.
It's almost impossible to do it on a single playthrough. It's nearly impossible because no one tells you anything. You have to actually actively be digging to understand the background. You can go the whole time. I have.
Oh, so you can just play the game, complete objectives, and not know what the fuck you are,
goddamn
what the hell's
thing
going
the whole
on.
time. Yeah.
You just roll with it. You're like,
I'd say like the first 200 hours, I literally knew nothing about the fucking.
It's a lot of hours, Christian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot to do. You know, it's not like you're, there's no main.
To this
quest,
day, do we know has anybody gained percents? Like, has anybody completed the game 100% thus far?
There's no really. That's a good point. There's not a whole lot of completion to be done because it's like a sandbox. Like you really, there's no main quest. There's no storyline per se.
So you just fuck, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
No,
So once again, shout out to the hero in his head. Hero in his head. So Kenshi, let me just describe it based on the Kenshi fandom wiki. I think they sum it up pretty well. So these aren't my words I'm quoting here, but Kenshi is, quote, a single-player role-playing game set in a vast and atmospheric sword-punk style open world.
Sword-punk.
With a mix of squad-based control and city-building features. Gameplay is completely free-roaming and open. Enjoy the freedom and potential to do whatever you want. Set in an unrelenting world of bloodthirsty cannibals, starving bandits, brutal slavers, and wild beasts, survival alone is a grueling struggle. You are not the chosen one. You're not great and powerful. You don't have more hit points than everybody else. You're not the center of the universe, and you're not special unless you work for it. And that's literally the opening for
I respect
Kenshi.
it already.
Yeah. So Kenshi is very brutal.
Which starts the game. You're not special.
Yeah, even more so than like Dark Souls in a lot of ways. Because Dark Souls, when you die, you get
Well, Dark Souls,
respawn.
the whole thing is you are the chosen one. Like they give you kind
That's
of.
true.
Like
You're
you're supposed to strive, and there is a main quest and all that crap. How you do it is up to you, but you have that stuff walking in.
That's fair. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yep. So
a lot of the challenges that I do are kind of self-given. Like there are playthroughs that I'll do where what I'll have to do, I'll be like basically say, I'm allowing myself 3 like redos, 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I basically give myself a little bit of an Iron Man mode. Kenshi it's a risk, man. Like I can just to kind of go over the Kenshi basics.
Okay, so I've downloaded this game to my computer. I've hit start. No.
Oh, theory.
This is all theory. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Theater of the mind. So I've young Tyler has gone onto Steam for the first time. He's like, wow, there's so much to do. Types in Kenshi because that's the only thing that his friend Christian's told him about.
Yeah.
He downloads Kenshi, spends the $19.99 plus tax. I don't know how much it costs.
Well, actually, they're on their spring sale.
So if I had waited a week, I could have gotten even less. Young Tyler's dumb Tyler. So I hit start. The first thing that we do is character creation, or does it give you like kind of a backstory of the world and things of that nature?
Yeah. So that's a very good question. What essentially happens is first you hear this incredible opening intro song, which we could play a quick sample right now.
Yeah, sure. Do you have it? Or you need me to get it?
Oh, I was thinking in post, but that works too.
Oh, fuck it, we do it live.
We're doing it live.
So what is
the Kenshi opening theme? It's very cool. The image
excited.
right now.
Yeah, he's excited for sure.
The image right now is of a lone adventurer in front of
the
ruins of
lone
Kenshi.
samurai, the wild frontier ahead of him.
Once the drums kick in, it's very much like the Avatar theme. Just fucking hypes you up instantly. Which, if you haven't checked our Avatar podcast, we probably will have released it by the time this comes out.
Most likely.
Yeah. Checking that out. I was about to say not sponsored, but actually we are sponsored because it's ourselves.
Yes. We sponsor that.
Here it goes. And it's on full blast. This gets you hyped as shit.
Yeah, I'm getting some Dark Soul vibes. The music, the lack of lore, or the need to find lore.
Yeah.
Might be where that ends, but, who knows?
I feel like the lore of Kenshi, while thematically very different from Dark Souls, has the same kind of, like, you have to dig deep.
The mechanic,
there's
the
a
lore
lot,
mechanic,
there's a
how
lot
it's built
there.
into the world.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find it if you want it, which is kind of...
It's like you dig,
I've paused it, so we're done with that.
Yeah, you dig like 1 inch deep into the ground of the lore, and suddenly you're like in a whole ancient civilization
You're
underneath
ass
the sea.
deep in that.
Yeah,
that
for sure. But yeah, you you hear the theme, you press new game start, and you have a few select options. So there's a few options like they basically give you opening scenarios.
Okay.
They range in difficulty, and they'll even mention the difficulty that you have. range in starting money, which is called cats in this game.
Cats?
Yep,
Like the
CATS. Yep, cats.
Like literally like the end.
Yeah. Well, you're not selling animals; they're coins.
Oh.
But they're called cats.
Okay.
And so there's various ones, like there's more, because you can play Kenshi in so many different ways. You can be a builder, you can be a trader, you can be a
you pick
combatant.
a different role?
Yeah, well, you can specialize in all of them if you want to. It's like Skyrim in that sense. But you have an opening chance to start with them. One of them is just the Wanderer, is the basic one. That's the default one.
Now, does this change stats? Do you have stats in the game?
It doesn't change stats.
Well, I'm saying, do you have stats like strength,
dexterity? You have a shit ton of stats, yeah.
Okay.
But you never start off at a higher. Well, actually, that's not true. There are certain ones that you start off a little bit more advanced in terms of combat than the other ones.
Mm.
There's some that start off as the Wanderer, where you basically start off kind of in the middle of nowhere, just a regular ass adventurer with maybe 1,000 cats, and you're sent off on your way.
I don't even know that cat's. Look at all my cats. There's so many cats.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats.
I'll trade you 4 cats for that sword.
Yeah.
Deal.
Wait until you find out that one of the most, or arguably the most impressive characters in this game is a skeleton named Catslon, like Catlon, Catlon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats. Anyway,
Now you see a cat man.
there are no cat people. You get it out of your head, man.
I can't. They gotta call things like universal currency. Cats.
Yeah. So
I'll trade you 4 cats for your cat.
So there's a Wanderer opening. You can get up to 5 people to begin with, which is one of the easiest starts because you have more people.
Now, what do you mean? Like NPCs that work with you?
Basically, you can. So the party is totally up to you. So you can be 1 main character. You can be 5 main characters. You can have a squad of up to 20.
And you can switch control of each character as you're playing?
You can basically make your own army, which
crazy.
is badass to do.
Yeah.
Because especially if you do something like crazy, like if say you want to it takes fucking forever because it's the hardest. Martial arts is like the hardest one to train because there's no blocking for martial arts. You kind of have to dodge and shit. But if you specialize in martial arts, it's possible to have like a fucking squad of like 15
ninjas.
Elite martial artists that just come in and just wreck the whole nation because like they're just that OP. Like, dude, once you get to level like 70 in martial arts or level 80, you can literally punch people's arms off. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, you will demolish people.
Now, you have levels for each, your ability of that nature?
Yeah, so if you go to, let's take a gander at one of the pictures here that I've had for my gameplays. So for those wondering at home, what I have on the screen, I gave him a shit ton of fucking...
This one?
Let's try it. Yeah, let's do that one. Not that one. That one, yeah.
Oh, I see right here.
So we get a shit ton of screenshots that I've had from my experience over the years. And if you look in that lower left-hand corner, you can see all of these fucking stats. All right,
Martial arts, strength, dexterity.
So this isn't the full list. There's actually a status list.
Yeah, because there's an arrow, I'm assuming that brings up the full list.
Well, there's also just an option over on the right-hand side that you'll see that just, if you see, down at STA, which is status, that will show you literally all your skills. And there's a shit ton of skills.
I'm assuming, like, depending on what you choose as a character, you're not going to use all your stats. Like, some just won't apply for you depending on how you're playing.
Yeah, like, it depends on how you're playing. You can have a character that's good at everything. That would take forever.
Leave them to the dogs. But not the cats, because that's money.
Fucking goddamn it. So, one of the stats that you see in the lower left-hand corner there are kind of the core stats. So the ones that kind of define everything that you're doing at the current moment in time. So your strength, your dexterity, your toughness,
now those,
your dodge.
Now, are you saying these are like core stats that every character will have in some
core stats that
degree?
Let me refine that a little bit. Core stats is in the ones that are usually the ones that you want to keep an eye out during combat.
Okay.
So like they're very combat-oriented stats. Because if there's a lot of, say you have a lot of injuries, those stats will go down.
Oh yeah, you know.
So if your legs are fucked up, you are not going to be able to dodge very well.
Yeah, right now in this one you have a negative 30 dodge, and that's not good.
That is not good.
Okay.
No, because there's a maximum of 100, and you basically have reduced.
So you are 130 less than the max you could be.
And that's if you maxed out. I don't think I've ever maxed out a stat. And actually, no, that's a lie. I've maxed out stealth before.
Now this is survival, so you have to worry about things like hunger, thirst.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about thirst. You kind of get all that with
like
hunger.
tiredness.
The idea, actually, they've actually interviewed, well, not interviewed, they did like an was it AMA, Ask Me Anything, with Chris, who's like the lead guy for Kenshi, and they asked him, why didn't you put thirst in the game? And he said, it's just he thought it was more of like a micromanagement thing that you didn't really need, because not only would you have to worry about thirst, then you have to worry about hunger and all that stuff, and is it necessarily more fun? So he's basically like, hunger and thirst are the same thing, basically.
Okay.
I mean, to defend the game, it's hard as fucking shit. I don't find much of a immersion loss from the lack of a thirst meter. But anyway, going with the mechanics of it. So you start off like reverting back to the main menu. So you're starting off that new game. Just to have a better example, I've actually just brought up the Kenshi start menu here on my own laptop, just so how, because I understand that it's going to be this is an audio podcast and potentially not spoilers, but we might have some video capabilities coming soon. But anyway, before that gets a little too excited, I figured I would describe it a little bit best to you and to Tyler because he has never seen it before. So this is the main menu. When you click new game, you get choose your beginning.
Okay.
So you can be either, they give you a bunch of presets. You can make your own presets, but they have some presets here, which is the Wanderer, which is the default one. It's the way that the game was meant to play. You're just a lone wanderer with nothing but a few coins, pair of pants, rusty sword, ready to venture out into the world. This is the way the game was intended to be played. You got things like the Wandering Trader, but you don't have any money. It's considered easy. They give you a difficulty readout here. The Holy Sword, Cannibal Hunters, which is fucking tough as shit. This is more of like an action-based RPG. So basically, you're two people in cannibal territory, and you just get fucked up instantly.
You just get eaten.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you said this game was single player, right? No multiplayer capabilities?
Yeah, no multiplayer. But the Hive Exile, rather, Son of a Captain, the Slaves, Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom's tough, but I actually like Rock Bottom a little bit.
And so what do these different backgrounds change for you as in the game?
They change your situation when you are starting out. So let me give you an example here. So the Wanderer, you're usually spawned into a safe area. Okay. So there's no like
no immediate danger.
No immediate danger. There's no war. Nobody's attacking you. You are fairly well fed. You're not starving. You have all your limbs, all that shit.
Oh, and it goes as far as like some of these things you might be missing a fucking limb.
Yeah, there's another picture up there that I have that you can see artificial limb. Yeah, if you zoom in, I have a artificial leg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a robot leg.
And so did your character start off with no leg, or you lost your leg?
No, I started with all my limbs.
I see.
Yeah, no, that didn't last forever though, because
it is cool that you can fix those things though.
Yeah, there are certain benefits and cons to having artificial limbs, as you would assume.
So depending on what background you choose, because we're going through all these backgrounds, it changes your situation in terms of where you start within the game itself. Like the map, because it's one continuous map, right? Even though it's sandbox, there are
it's all one big map.
Okay, and then it changes. Actually. It can change your condition, like how hungry you are and stuff like that. Like depending on how you start.
Also determines in some regards your skill set.
And equipment changes starting equipment.
Correct.
And then does it change? I think I asked before, but does it change your stats? Like your levels,
it can also change your freedom stats because you can start as a slave.
Oh, and then
which is tough as shit.
You might have to find a way to escape, essentially.
Yeah, there is one setting called the Slaves, where basically you are slaves in rebirth. Which there's a nation called the Holy Nation. Fucking assholes. I hate them so much. I know there's some people that might, if you can successfully go through a Holy Nation playthrough and not be tearing out your.
Oh, you just hate it because it's hard?
No, it's awful. Like morally, it's awful.
Oh.
But some people like to play it's just like Kaiser's Legion in Fallout New Vegas.
I don't really know Fallout either.
Yeah, so there's a nation in Fallout New Vegas. There's two major battles. There's the NCR.
Yeah.
New California Republic.
That I know.
They're essentially the good guys, although there's some people that don't like them because they kind of force you to be part of them, whether you want to be or not. Mm-hmm. But overall, they're the moral high ground. Then they got Kaiser's Legion, which is basically a bunch of tribes that like are warring, and they're sexist and all that shit. And they're
like warring with each other, or warring everybody who's not there.
As in they like consume other tribes, like they're one big mass that just eats everybody. And they're the worst. And there's a lot of parallels with that in the Holy Nation. The Holy Nation is sexist, racist, very religious, very zealous. They'll jump you for no fucking reason. They're actually
You look quite
active.
jumpable.
I know they're actively the worst, and they are incredibly powerful. Like they're an extremely powerful
As an
empire.
organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're tough as shit. Like their minimum like armor dude is like 40 average stats, maybe 50. Which you start off at level 1.
So you start at 1, and you said the cap is 100 for each one of these like skills or stats.
And 100 is almost impossible to get to because you'd have to be grinding for hours and hours and hours and hours.
So is 40 to 50 like kind of an average for like
40 to
a
50
player?
is tough.
Okay, so
40 to
so
50
you
is tough.
so an
I'd say-
average should be like 20 to 30 maybe.
Yeah.
For most players, they're like kind of running around who have a few hours logged in.
Yeah, as long as you're not. So if you have a crew of like 5, probably the average is going to be 20 to 30.
Now, can you pick your crew regardless of your background, or you said that the background or the amount of NPCs you start with is dictated by your background, or you can get people?
You can get more people.
Okay.
You can get up to like 20 people in your squad.
Okay.
I think there's ways to get even more. I don't remember how, but there's you can get up to 20 in a squad.
Okay, so you start off the game, you choose your character, you choose your background. Can you customize the character's look?
Yep.
Okay, so you do
Customize
that.
the character's look.
Then you start the game.
Mm-hmm.
After doing all your character, your background, all that, and at this point, like you don't know anything about the game itself, like the story or anything
No, they don't tell you shit.
Okay, cool.
They only give you all you have is what little backgrounds you have. So like there's that. Say the son of a captain. Your father was a respected captain in the United States Army. He was killed in action. After burning through your meager savings looking for work, you find yourself penniless and hungry with nothing left but your father's trusty katana and a shirt on your back. The United Cities are still your allies, but you'll need them if you run into any troops from the Holy Nation. Those guys really hate you. Okay. So you have different. You can already start with factions liking you or hating you.
Okay.
For one of them, there's one that you're like a master thief, and you already start out with like 20,000 bounty on your head, which is ridiculous.
That's 20,000 cats.
And then, like I said, the hard one that I like to do sometimes, just to challenge myself, the really hard one is the rock bottom, where basically you're
starting at rock bottom.
You are alone.
Makes sense.
Unarmed, naked and hungry.
Okay.
Lost in the middle of the harsh desert.
Okay.
Teaming with slavers.
Okay.
And you just lost an arm. Good luck. That's literally what it says.
So you're an armless nude guy.
Yeah. And in the middle of a desert with no food, you're hungry.
So you start off hungry.
Yep.
One arm, no weapon. That's yeah.
It's tough as shit.
That doesn't even sound fun. He's like, you know what? I've had a really bad day. I just want to keep hating myself.
I know, yeah. It's a glutton for.
I mean, for those who like that shit, but I don't know. That just doesn't seem relaxing.
Yeah, no. Kenshi is fucking stressful, man. Right now, I'm fucking pulling my hair out because I promised myself many hours ago. I'm like, you know what? I am not going to set up a fort or a settlement in the swamp because the swamp's a fucking nightmare and I hate it. I'm setting up a fort in the swamp.
So you start off as a single player, open world.
Or multiple people in your party.
Sure, multiple people that you can switch with, and then you can command them and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay.
And what's cool about that is say that you have become a great warrior. You have become incredibly powerful, and you're like, I am tired of doing this alone. I want some people. And you hire 2 brand new goober nobodies. You run off with them, and you get your ass killed.
You're dead.
They can carry on.
So you can play.
You can still keep playing.
And have access to like all your shit that you had before, even though that your main dude's dead.
Yeah. So my current crew is called the Sandwich Walkers.
Okay. Because
there was originally a guy that leaded them called Sandwich, but he died mad fast. So in his legacy, we have named all of our crew the Sandwich Walkers.
So I would have named it different parts. Like this is crust.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
This is like mayonnaise.
Oh, I need to do that now.
This is cheese.
God.
And then as each one dies, the sandwich gets worse and worse. By the end of it, it's just fucking lettuces left.
Our village is called Soggy Pot.
Yeah, this guy, he's my best guy. I call him the center bite.
God, that's so clever. Yeah, no, because you can name most of them.
That's cool. Then you said there's world building.
There is.
Okay, how does that work?
Right. Let's see. Going into just the straight mechanics.
Now, how like mechanical does this get? Like, is this like Fallout? So I do Fallout 4, where you can do base building and stuff like that. Is it as in depth as that?
Even more in depth.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because what you might be thinking to yourself, you're like, oh, well, you go around, you find a settlement, you build up on that settlement.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. Let me go into the map real quick, just for a quick.
Sure,
This
I
is
think
gonna
I
be
have a
side.
picture.
This is gonna be a quick side spin right here,
I
right?
think I have a picture of that map, no?
Yeah, bring it up real quick, my friend.
Well, can't guarantee quick, but I can guarantee.
It's okay. I'm bringing up my paperwork too.
Okay.
So,
I see this swamp that you spoke of.
how big do you think that fucking map is?
How do you mean?
How large do you think it is mile-wise?
Mile-wise?
Yeah.
Like, now here's my question. When do they track distance in miles in the game?
Yeah.
Okay. And now my next question is it comparative to a real world mile versus like, what is it, like 5,000 some odd steps is a mile or feet is a mile?
Well, you got me there. I don't know if the mechanics are, but they. Yes,
Okay, so
miles-wise, yeah.
for a mile, we'll say, I'm gonna guess this is probably like 4 or 5 off rip, just this one little part. So this map.
Okay.
Going
He
like,
was pointing over to the Great Desert, by the way.
yeah, Great Desert. I'm kind of doing a diagonal cross section of the map to do it like that way.
Okay.
So I would say 5, 10, 15, I don't know, 20, 30 miles in any direction from like, if you, let's say you're starting in Riften in Skyrim heading to Solitude, say like 30 mile.
You think it's 30 miles?
Yeah, it's probably going to be more, sure, the way you're shaking your head and pulling your beard.
Well, it's,
Is it double that?
let's just say it is 335 miles, square miles.
So a little more than
this
30.
map.
Okay.
A bit more than 30.
Okay. Damn. What the fuck?
Wild, right?
What do you do with
Isn't that crazy?
What do you do with that?
It's technically it's about it's measured in kilometers because they're I think from Europe, but it's 869.7 kilometers.
And 300 is the mileage.
The converted one is 335, yeah, and 335 and a half technically.
Nut sacks.
So for reference, Skyrim is 14 and a half square miles.
But it's not like this.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is 23.7. Oblivion is 25 and a half. Red Dead Redemption is 29. Dragon Age Inquisition 45. GTA 5 is only 49 square miles.
I'm surprised it's that big.
Yeah.
Because you can drive in that game, so it's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Witcher 3 is 84.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is big. I'm actually playing that
Assassin's
right now.
Creed Odyssey with all that ocean in there is 90.7. And Fallout 76 is 120. So just think about that.
This game has it has the next 3 biggest game beat combined.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's like astounding where like there's no other map that competes with it. You know, obviously they got the 2019 Death Stranding game. That was 525.
Sure, it's not the biggest, but it's not small by any fucking stretch.
Not at all. And your character depending on how fast they are. I mean, your characters can run fast as shit. Like if you
Can you get mounts and stuff like that?
No, you can't get mounts.
Oh, so you straight.
But you can run fast as shit.
You're
like later on, like you can do you
can run
Usain
500
Bolt.
kilometers.
Yeah, you can do like 200. You can do 25 miles an hour up until like 30 miles an hour.
Run 30 miles an hour.
So you can that's almost maxed out athletics.
I was about to say that's like you can cross the half a day you're across the map.
Yeah, no, you can run fast as shit. But
and there is time in the map, so like day to night kind of a thing.
Yep.
Are there seasons?
Not seasons.
Weather? Changing weather?
Yes and no. That goes more into the lore, but essentially Kenshi's been fucked.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you start at the Great Desert, clearly there's no fucking rain that's gonna go on there. But you go somewhere else.
Oh, you're talking environmental changes.
Yeah,
yes, very much so.
Weather.
But I wouldn't say weather in the conventional sense. We're going to the lore, but there's been a biohazard that is just fucked up.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with
Kenshi.
the mechanics and stuff like that for right now, and then I think next episode we'll lore it up.
But yeah, so essentially, I mean, it's a long ass fucking map. So circling back to what you were saying earlier with the whole concept of settlements and construction.
Base building, yep.
So 335 and a half miles.
Mm-hmm.
You can construct anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a city anywhere there.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like right next to a town, then you have limits because the town occupies it.
Now, short of the NPCs that can be directly under control, can you have other NPCs, like if you make a big ass settlement, can you have other uncontrollable NPCs follow you? Or are you just stuck with your 20 dudes?
Not uncontrollable NPCs, no. You can have your NPCs tasked to take care of your estate while you're gone with your kill squad. Say you have like a bunch of farmers that you freed from like a slave camp, and you're like, hey, bros, can you take care of my shit? You can kind of micromanage and assign them their jobs so that they'll keep doing that until
Yeah,
you
do
know,
bases need
forever.
to be maintained? Do they naturally deteriorate and shit like that, or
Yeah.
can they get attacked too?
Oh my god, it's so annoying. Well, it's cool. It's fun. It's great. I love. Yeah, Kenshi's awesome. I love it.
No.
It's great, but you get depending on where you set up, you will get fucked up by raids.
Yes.
Like constantly.
I mean, it's okay to say that games have bullshit in them.
Yeah. There's
So can we keep it clean for 10 minutes?
There is actually a modifier that you can do in the settings where you can reduce the amount of times that you get raided.
So make the game easier.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But default wise, you're getting fucking
bullshit.
You can also increase it if you're fucking sadistic.
Well, I mean, you can start the game with no arm and nothing.
Yeah, no.
Sure.
There is a certain masochism to some of this. But I think that's one of the most impressive components about this is that you can literally set up wherever the fuck you want. And the environment will react depending on where you set up.
What do you mean?
So say we'll get into this very in-depthly, but there are three main kind of organizational empires that you would say. The two main ones are the Holy Nation, which let me show you.
So you got the Holy Nation, which are penis munchers.
Yeah. I mean, they're all kind of penis munchers, honestly.
Okay.
But
a lot of penis munchers.
So around here, Okryn's Pride, or Okryn's Pride, I say
So
Okryn.
looking at the map that we're on, we're looking at the northwest.
Yeah, the central northwest, right before the Fog Islands, right before the floodlands over there. It's crazy that I can memorize this, even though the picture is fuzzy. But yeah, this right here is where the most of the Holy Nation hangs out. They're tough as shit, and they are arguably the worst. The Great Desert has the United Cities, which is less racist and less religious, but they have slaves. And they're also kind of douchey. But in terms of the lesser of two evils...
Lesser two douches.
Yeah, lesser of two douches. If you were forced to be into one or the other...
It's like, do you want douche level 10 or douche level 7?
Yeah, exactly. So, the Great Desert has that. There's also, if you go down...
And they kick children over here.
If you go down, there's also...
The Hook.
The United Nations also hangs out around there.
Okay. So the United Cities.
United Cities, yeah.
They hang out in the Great Desert, which is to the northern.
Yeah, they hang out in the northeast and then the southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah, with a few,
And then you said the Holy Order was in
the Holy Nation right
Holy Nation was upper northwest.
So
oh wow, they kind of sandwiched them a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's a long way from both places, so
true. Yeah.
I don't know how much communication they have between the two of them. But this spot right here, Bast, is a huge battlefield right now between the Holy Nation.
Bast is west of the Great Desert.
Yeah, it's west of the Great Desert and northeast of Okryn's Valley, or Okryn's Valley, depending on how you want to say it. So this main battle spot right here, like they've destroyed every single city.
Like no man's land?
Yeah, all the cities there are destroyed because of the battles. There's also a third nation in the Sten Desert down here. The Sten Desert down into the Spider Plains all the way to Shum.
Which is like central... Central west.
Far west.
Yeah, west coast.
South, yeah. And that has the Shek Nation, which... the Shek are a warrior race. If you can imagine like the Klingons, they have a very similar mentality. They'd rather die in honor in battle. The only thing is, though, they're so good at dying honorably in battle that they don't really use tactics very well. So the Holy Nation kind of kick their asses because they don't retreat. So even if they're like outnumbered, they're like, oh, I'm still good. They're like losing arms. I'm still gonna fight you. And you're like, dude, retreat. They're like, no.
It's like the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Yes,
Chicken.
exactly. 'Tis but a flesh wound. And then they get so eventually.
I'll bite your legs off.
So one of the, I think her name's the Stone Golem. She's like one of the women in charge of the Shek Kingdom, and she's just like, guys, we're getting fucked. We need to stop, constantly attacking because we're literally dying. And they're like, boo. And she's like, dude, if you want to fucking win this war, we're not gonna keep attacking.
I'm not wrong.
So that's why the Shek Nation, or Shek Kingdom rather, they're kind of confined here because they got their asses kicked by the Holy Nation.
Okay.
So they're kind of in waiting. They're tough as shit. Don't get me wrong, but like the Stone God's basically like, if we continue our tactics right now, we're gonna get wiped out. So we're gonna chill out for a hot second, stay put, and then we'll
like kind of regroup and then.
Yeah. So that's why I don't consider them. There are 3 kingdoms three empires.
But they're not like an active power right
But
now.
I'd say it's only the United Cities and the Holy Nation that are huge factors.
Okay.
The Czech Kingdom's still there, still intense, but they're not as.
Now, what about all this other shit that's not in? Would you consider those areas, the three nations, like civilized areas, so to speak? Generally,
quote unquote civilized.
So,
There's still a bunch of other, like you got the Hivers to the south. You got.
So there are other organizations.
Yeah, there's plenty, but in terms of like organized empires, those are the three.
Mm.
What's interesting that I was trying to make a point about with that is that if you set up in the United Cities land, like
Sure.
anywhere, people will come up to you, and even if it's just a shack, they'll be like, hey, you owe us taxes, that kind of situation. If you do it in the Holy Nation, they're going to be like, hey, you have to pray to our God, or we're going to like attack you. If you do it to the Czech Kingdom, sometimes
They'll kill you.
Honestly, they'll fucking be like, hey, you want to fight? And we're like, no. And they're like, well, too bad.
They knocked out my just like the worst Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Hey, for a second, talk about our fists.
And they carry around, so they're heavy weapon masters. So they call them planks. It's literally just like a big handle and then this huge ass fucking sword that like weighs like 20 fucking kilograms or whatever, and they'll just swing that at you, and you're like,
I want to fight
they're like
again.
just a fucking farmer trying to make crops, and like they're just fucking wreaking havoc. That's why like I don't really fuck with the Czech too much, because they're
You seem like dumb
they're
idiots.
tough, man.
Yeah.
Literally, their gate
Fucking
guards,
meatheads.
their fucking gate guards for their cities are like 74 attack,
That's good,
which is
right?
yeah, but for like 20 to 30 average for you. they make light work of you.
They triple your.
So, but it's not only that. So, like, you can set up in just about any of these 335 miles in this whole radius. You can set up just about anywhere, and you'll either have, like, if it's like, say it's like an uncharted territory, like, say it's over here. I've set up here before, way east of the Howler's Maids onto these islands over here.
Okay.
I've set up there, and no nation will bother you because it's so far from civilization. The only thing that you'll have is occasionally bandits or whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, sometimes it gets boring. Sometimes you want some of that like drama.
Not
between.
enough action.
Yeah, I know. Because sometimes you're like, okay, now I'm too safe. You know, what am I gonna do now? But it really depends, because sometimes you'll have the craziest.
Can you
people.
build multiple bases?
You can, yes.
Okay. So I mean,
I didn't realize that for the longest time, and then I'm like, wait a second, I can keep setting up whatever the fuck I want. I don't think it's not really advised to have two fully manned bases,
yeah.
because then you're like micromanaging at that point. You're like basically like.
Well, you set up like a home base, like you said, in the far
Yeah.
reaches of nowhere, and then you set a more active one in the middle of things.
Yeah, I think the smartest method of doing that would be like, you set up a base, say in the swamp, set up one in Stove's garden, another one up in the Great Desert, and then you just walk from each to the other. Like, you don't worry about keeping them maintained, it's fine. If you're trying to do more of a nomadic kind of experience.
For sure.
But yeah, so those are some of the essential mechanics there.
So you start off a single player. You can have up to 20 NPCs that can be controlled indirectly and directly, and after that, it's just kind of open world.
Mm-hmm.
And along with some base building.
Yeah, very much so.
So join us next time. We're in our second episode of this Kenshi adventure. Christian will bring us through the lore, the different races, the different orders. We touched on a little of them this time, but we're going to
Before the lore horse tour.
Yeah, so we just went through the mechanics. It already sounds like a very fun game, just off a little bit I've seen. So I think, maybe I might potentially pick it up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, especially now that it's on sale in Steam, unsponsored. So.
We dropped a lot of unsponsored for this
Unsponsored drops. Yeah, I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Unsponsored.
It's funny because we are not sponsored by anything.
No,
at
we
all.
really are.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Planet Earth.
We're sponsored by our Dunkin's coffee and our Monster drink.
That's 2 more product drops.
Oh god, yeah, that's true.
Brands.
We aren't even sponsored by those.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But catch us next time on Pandora's Box.
See y'all next time.